Welcome back to the Forging Elite Fathers podcast. This is now episode 4. I'm Casey.
I'm Rob.
Thanks for joining us, Rob. Happy birthday, my man.
Yeah, thank you.
Another year older, another year wiser.
Something like that.
That's what they say anyways, huh? Well, yeah, I hope you're having a good day. We'll start off by going through our mission statement real quick, and then we've got some cool things to go through today and talk about. Let's see. So, Forging Elite Fathers, we are not yet elite. We desire to be. We don't arrive elite. We're forged into it. We believe an elite father loves and leads his family as Jesus leads and loves the church and is constantly willingly being sanctified to be like Christ. We believe that CrossFit is the best method for health and wellness due to its efficient and varied nature. And our goals are, we've simplified this a little bit, to encourage and unite Christian fathers into a fruitful relationship with Jesus and connect them with a local church and local CrossFit affiliate. So yeah, simplified that a little bit. What you think, Rob?
I like it. It's our main goal here is just to find like-minded men and to get them healthy and fit and also ready to serve their families and serve the church as best as they can.
Yeah, agree. Physically and spiritually fit is what we're striving for. We talk about a lot. There's, again, as we discussed with Adrian last week, there's so many things that go into that. There's so many avenues that people take, so many directions. And we believe that CrossFit is the best way for the physical fitness. But I think no matter what you believe for the physical fitness world, as a Christian, there's a pretty standard procedure to which we'll take to be spiritually fit, right? And that's time and relationship. That you told me a couple of quick stories about some people that have been talking about our podcast. We didn't think anybody was listening, and there are some people listening. You mind sharing those?
So 2 pretty cool stories. Yeah, of course, we just started this thing just thinking, this is just going to be a conversation between us, and we'll see if anyone listens or not. But we've had 2 pretty cool little stories happen. So I told the story about my daughters being crazy and running outside looking for me to play with them and stuff. And so we jumped on the trampoline for a while and ran races in the yard. Told that story about them. So we had a listener that as he was driving, maybe I should say while he was driving, but
yeah, he had to stop somewhere. Yeah.
He had to pull over and stop, and he was listening to our podcast about that time. Pulled over and purchased a trampoline for he and his daughters. That's pretty cool. He sent me a picture of his daughters playing on the trampoline. Amazing. And he was out there getting
impacting local economies already.
Yeah.
And
then we have a mutual friend that took their first CrossFit class this past week because just listening to us, knowing that he needs to get his exercise in order. And man, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what he told me too. He was like, yeah, I just realized that, especially after the class, because I followed up with him. He came to our Bring a Friend Day, which we have, once every couple of months. We'll have a Bring a Friend Day, which is a free day at the gym to just come try a class. And he came in, and after following up, he was like, yeah, I see more and more now as to why I need to focus on my fitness and his desires to get his whole family involved, which is wonderful. And I agree.
He's got 2 little boys that he loves to wrestle with and play with, and they're involved in some sports and stuff. And he just knows that, I mean, that's going to be even more important going on forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And we touched base on that, or talked around that topic a little bit with Adrian last week. But the fact that you have the energy to live with your family, not just like be around them, is a huge deal to thrive. Now, I say that, and some days I get home from coaching and from working out and working all day, and even though I would consider myself fairly physically fit, some days I'm just smoked. Like, I'm exhausted, and mentally I want to check out. And that's a totally different thing than having the physical capability or not as well.
There's a guy, I hesitated on bringing this up, but there's another mutual friend of ours I think he is really wanting to start trying to come
Yeah.
to our gym. He, he goes to a different gym in town, but, he knows the benefits of CrossFit, and, it's a non-CrossFit gym that he goes to.
Yeah.
Uh, but his schedule is just so crazy, and he works, at a factory, has a factory job, and it's
Hmm.
pretty physically demanding, but he still wants to go home and play with his son
Yeah.
and have that physical contact with him and just, and be there for running races and playing ball with him and stuff, and so I think, he's trying to work in his schedule to where he can come to Ridge City, but, um
Yeah. Well, talking through that, when we lived in Salt Lake City, I ran a remodeling business. I was essentially a handyman. That was my I guess
Mm,
license title was a handyman, and it was me and a helper. And I was doing all of the physical labor. I was selling and driving, and but then also doing the construction. And during that time, I was as consistent. I had just gotten back into consistency in CrossFit at what is now CrossFit or Salty Hive CrossFit. And I was working out 5 days a week, and I was working out at 5 a.m. I was coaching some, and I was also doing this physically demanding job.
mm,
And I felt, as this is in my early 30s, so I was probably 31, 32, and I felt so good. But you don't think that physical fitness, like exercise, will make you feel better when you have a physically demanding job, but actually after you
right,
get into that, you start seeing that that it
right.
actually does. It's counterintuitive.
Mm. Would you say that, because of that demanding, uh, eh, this idea that we physically, put our bodies into this stress, state that, it better helps us serve our families,
Mhm.
because we know how to handle situations, but how does CrossFit give us a greater sense of purpose in our life?
A greater sense of purpose in our life. Um, I think there's a lot to be said about having people around you that are positive in the community aspect. I don't love the term community when it comes to fitness. A lot of people
Mm,
push that. A big thing you'll hear around the coaching and gym ownership world is like our gym is better than yours because of our coaching and our community. I I don't know. That's good, but there's a real um tangible piece to the community, and having people beside you, encouraging you, cheering you on, seeing you excel, seeing you fail in stressful situations, which I would consider a CrossFit workout stressful in a good way, like it puts stress on your body
right.
and maybe even your mind because it's hard. Seeing that as a positive thing, but giving us purpose comes out of the fact that we know that we can overcome challenging things. And back to the community side, there are people around us continuing to lift us up because we're not in a place where it's a discouraging community. It's an encouraging community to which people are positive. Sorry, my dog has decided that she wants to be full of attention right now,
It's okay.
and so I'm over here having to pet her, distracting. But then outside of that, we end up having the ability to overcome these challenging experiences. We have these long, grueling workouts or these challenging workouts where we're pushing ourselves safely, but we consistently, one day at a time, continue to overcome those things. And that's going
Mm,
to in life, whenever we're down, whenever we're looking, a stressful situation pops up and we're like, man, I can't do that. I can't complete this task, or nobody loves me, or nobody wants me around.
right.
You can quickly revert back to the time in the gym to say, well, I mean, honest, if you like take a real look at it, yes, I can do this because yesterday I did that snatch and burpee workout, which looked miserable.
Mm.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, the word that comes to my mind is focus.
Mm,
It gives us focus. Um,
that's good.
Everything around us as far as, what's in what's going on in the country, what's going on in economically, what's going on in our culture, everything, it can get cluttered, especially if we just start looking at for the problem. If we start looking for the problem, then we will just continually, uh, that feeds into us what we put into our bodies, what do we put into our minds, what we put into our mouths, even that comes out. And so when all this negativity and all this thing, this clutter comes into our bodies and our minds, then that's what comes out.
Yeah.
But if we are constantly putting ourselves under stress and under physically, mentally, um, we have a greater sense of focus. We can focus on what really matters. When we're in a workout, we can focus on our breathing. We can focus on the technique. We can focus on um, things that our bodies can do, while also uh, it gives us a focus for our life
Hmm.
for our lives, and so we can really focus in on what do we need to do to improve ourselves? What do we need to do to improve the community around us? Um,
Yeah.
what can we do to improve the culture around us? Um, go ahead.
Yeah. That's no. I think as you're talking about that, the thing that comes to mind is we need that to have focus. We also need to have goals that direct
Mm,
our focus, right?
yes.
I mean, and if I'm an external processor, I talk through things instead of thinking it out and then saying it very clearly. So sometimes I say things like in an incorrect manner, and I'll work my way into the path that I mean. So hang with me on this, but yeah, like if we don't have a goal in mind, like I want to climb Mount Everest,
Mm,
then we don't have any direction to which we can focus.
right.
If we don't have in our mind that I want to have a healthy blood pressure, I want to have a healthy body fat, I want to have enough energy at night to play with my kids when I get home. If we don't have that as our focus, then our workouts can be so random to which there's no direction for us to actually focus on.
Yes.
And yeah, no, that's wonderful, dude. What would you say? What would be your focus, or what would be your goals to which help you focus in that manner?
So, of course, we keep coming back to the family and the family dynamic, and that's one of the biggest focuses for me. Um, we have a little saying around our house, and we haven't I say that we haven't really done much with it, but I have it in a kind of document where we say in our family, abiding in the truth of the gospel, we will walk in the way, gather under a welcoming home, and live an adventurous life.
Hmm,
And so that going to
like that.
gives us a a goal and a purpose to look forward to.
Hmm.
Uh, we abide in the truth of the gospel as we walk in the way, which is how the early Christians, they weren't called the Christians. They weren't called, they didn't call themselves Christians. They just knew that they were following the way.
Yeah,
So I just really like that term. Walk in the way, gather under a welcoming home. We want our home to be a welcoming place for friends, family, strangers, and then we want to live an adventurous life. We want to see what's out there and explore. Um, yeah,
yeah, and that could be different for every family, right? Some people may not want to live an adventurous life, though. Man, it's
right.
fun. I like change and adventure. You do too.
Mm,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but yeah, that'd be a great thing to craft. I don't have anything like that that I can, I guess, focus on specifically for our family. So I'll work on that, and I'll try to craft one of those. Maybe share that with you next week.
mm,
Something I can come up with with my wife for our family here. That'd be good.
yeah, yeah. I just
That'd be a
think
good challenge.
I can't iterate enough. I can't say enough about this focus, this idea of focus. I think I follow a lot of people online who they may look at the current situation in their life and think, "Man, everything is going wrong. Everything is not right in the world, and my world is crashing down." And I just want to kind of wake them up and say, just focus on what you can make better in your life and the people around you. Instead of posting, instead of thinking on the negative, instead of posting on the
Yeah.
negative, get out there. What can you create to make it better? And
What does
I think we
Savon say a lot about stuff like individual accountability? Or yeah, I listen to the Savon podcast a lot. I think he's been
right.
influential, though I don't agree with him on all of his religious or sometimes other views. There's a lot that I do, but he talks about CrossFit as a huge catalyst for like individual accountability, self
Yes.
accountability,
Yes.
not being the victim, taking
Right.
ownership of where you are and where you're going and where you're leading those around you.
And I'm gonna push back just a little bit and
Yeah,
say, uh, there are people with real trauma, and there are people
true.
with real things going on in their life. I shared a little bit at the beginning of this podcast, episode 1 and 2, about some of my past, and I had to get through some pretty tough stuff in my life. But I use that as fuel to make the world better. And so, or I try to. And so I
Yeah.
think that's my hope for people. I want men to step up and be men. I want to bring hope into the world, and I want to
Mhm.
encourage others to do the same.
Yeah, and all the more reason to surround yourself with people with the same direction as you. So if
Yes.
you know that you struggle to be have a positive mindset, if you know that you easily slip into the victim mentality or to the negative mind, and you can easily fall into depression and how, woe is me type mentality, it's
Mm,
common. And there may be valid reasons for that. Not saying there aren't, but if you know that that's the case, but you don't want to be there, why
mm.
not surround yourself with people who also don't want to be there and
Yes.
who also want, though they may not be there. That's why we say this at the beginning, that we are not yet elite. We desire to be. We don't
Correct.
arrive elite. We are forged to that. You have to have people around you helping you, guiding you, redirecting you, reminding you of your direction. And I forget the exact scripture, but as iron sharpens iron, one brother,
Mm,
well, how's it finish? Um, Sharpens another, essentially. Yeah, look that up. And it's
yep.
used all over, right? Iron sharpens iron. What does that mean? It means that, like, Robbie, I'm struggling today, dude.
Yeah.
And I was this morning. I almost was like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this today.
I had to, yeah, I had to put down my um what I was doing for a minute and kind of focus in on here. Okay, we're gonna record. And so, yeah, Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
One person sharpens another. That's right. And so in that's in the book of wisdom there in the Bible, that
Mm,
the wise will be surrounded by others that will help sharpen them and direct them.
yes.
I think is a quick way to summarize that.
And so I think, um, just continuing on this theme, how can we how does that sense of purpose lead us into be elite or godly fathers?
Mm.
And I think really it comes back to that family dynamic of because we have a focus as men, we can then guide our families into that mission and that focus, and we grow a better family.
Yeah, and I think, though, who knows what the current state of whatever listener you are, you may not be aligned with your wife in your beliefs and how you want to lead your family or whatever. There's some things there that need to be handled.
Right.
But I believe you and I are both blessed with wives that align with that vision, that
Yes.
we are in the same mindset, and we get to do this. We are not the typical, or, well, I wouldn't say typical, but we're not what you would consider to be like the alpha male run the household type husbands and fathers. I'm a teammate with my wife, and we do this. We mess up together. We
Mhm.
succeed together. One day she's messing up and I'm maybe able to hold it together. The next day I'm messing up and maybe she's able to hold it together, and we're constantly back and forth on directing one another to these goals. And if you have, even more so, if you have, like you do, Rob, that statement which you can come back to constantly, you can quickly align even better, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Huge blessing our wives are.
It is.
Huge.
I was a little sickly yesterday, and I uh I get the full on man sickness anytime I have a little bit of a stuffy nose.
Aw.
I just want to lay in bed and and wallow in my sorrow. And
Yeah,
she steps up. My wife steps up and
as she
helps,
does, right?
with the kids and get things together. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I noticed the same. And funny enough, like one of the reasons one of the reasons that I didn't want to do this today is I was kind of ticked off last night. I got home a little, like, I actually had a great evening. I went with my daughter to play 9 holes of golf after coaching the 4 o'clock class. So, like,
Oh
got
wow.
to take my daughter to play golf for her first time. We had a wonderful, fun time until I get home and I pull her clubs out and I realize that she's lost a club on the course.
Oh
And
no.
it's a we went to this course that's 15 minutes away. It's not like it's the one right behind. We have one fairly close, not that one, but 15 minutes away, and it was almost dark. And I immediately just got ticked, man. Like, I was the switch flipped, and I went to I threw my stuff in the truck, got in, just pulled out, hammered it that way, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And I got home just irritated.
Mm,
So mad, and I woke up this morning. I just went to bed, like, after the kids were down. I didn't even, and I never do this. Like, I'm expressing my disdain for my actions last night, but, like, I didn't even tell my wife I loved her.
mm.
I didn't, like, give her a kiss goodnight. I went to bed, closed my eyes, and went to sleep. And I never do that. And I woke up this morning just irritated again.
Mm.
And I was talking with her. Funny enough, she called me after she was dropped the kids off, and she's actually going to a field trip with our daughter today. And she said, "You know what's funny? Like, I woke up this morning mad at you from a dream that I had."
Mm.
We've been married 15 years, and that's like newlywed stuff right there. But
Right.
she told me, she was like, "Yeah, I woke up mad at you, and I guess I just need to get that off my chest because it's really stupid, you know." And I was like, "Well, funny enough, I can tell you how I was irritated as well." And we got to apologize to one another, which was great, right? That was a blessing in itself. But
We
anyways,
don't
just to vent
arrive.
a little bit.
We don't arrive elite. We're
We
forged
don't
into it.
arrive elite.
So we are always on a constant path
Bro, I've got such a
re-
long
re-
ways to go.
to same man.
We are just on this road of fatherhood and husbandhood and being a follower of the way. So,
That's right.
yeah. Yeah, life's a funny thing, man. It's a funny thing.
Uh, One last question before we head out. Um, what advice would you give a father who's ready to step up?
I would. There's a lot of there's a lot of advice being. And I'm 37, been married for 15 years, have 3 kids. I've seen a little bit of life. Not definitely more experienced people out there, but there's a lot of experience. But I really, at this point, do believe that step number one is finding a group. You don't have to share your soul with them. You don't have to share all your deepest, darkest secrets right away. I think eventually it needs to happen. But find a group of men who are going the same direction that you want to go. Not that you're
Yes.
going, but that you want to go, and that are willing and open to having you walk alongside, literally walk that path with them.
Yes. That is
Community.
key. That is
What
it.
about you?
I Man, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think first of all, um, that is good. Let me go back on that just a little bit and say that goal or purpose in our life. I think that needs to be the very first step.
Mhm.
I heard someone say one time, "What is the thing behind the thing?" Your thing might be to better your family and make a better life for your family, but what is really behind that? What emotion is behind that? There's a fear that your family won't be a good family. We might have
Yeah.
family problems, so you want to avoid that. Uh, Another thing might be that the thing might be actually that um, you want to raise a godly family so that they will love the Lord with their heart just as much
Hmm.
as you do or more. And so the thing behind the thing is where you're really going to dig deep into that purpose and find what that purpose is.
True.
Focus in on that and then find that community of men uh, that can come alongside you and help you with that purpose.
Yeah. I was listening. This kind of ties in. It might be just a total ADD moment as well, but it does kind of tie into the thing behind the thing. I was re-listening to the.
So Casey just left. There he is. 1 second.
Technical difficulties. We switched sides. I literally touched my trackpad and I go off here. Man, I'm all over the place today.
It's all good. I just said Casey left, and maybe he'll
And
come
he's
back.
out. Let me retract here. So the thing behind the thing, I was re-listening to the last week's podcast with Adrian Conway and
Mm,
discussing. I went down this path of talking about the CrossFit methodology and how it is something that is measurable, repeatable, and how we use it to measure our success and our fitness, and how it would be cool if we had that ability to measure our spiritual fitness. And he touched on it quickly about we do, but we didn't dig into it, but we totally do. And I think that the thing behind the thing for me and my life and my kids' life and my wife's life, what I want is us to be people who have the fruit of the spirit displayed in the world, right?
mm,
Peace, love, joy, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control, faithfulness. I may be forgetting one. Those are the things that ultimately I want us to live out, and I want to be coming out of our lives, and I want my kids to be having that out of their lives. And I'll be honest with you, I think anyone in this world, if you tell them, hey, I've got it, you can have love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control, faithfulness. Do you want those things? I don't know of anybody in this world that would say no.
right.
How do we get those? We follow Jesus. The Holy
Mm,
Spirit comes into our life. He's our helper. And out of our life, then should flow those things because of the Holy Spirit.
that's good.
And I think that's kind of my thing behind the thing. So would you dig into what yours might be if you want to express that?
Um, honestly, what I just said about raising a godly family because, man, I want a wholesome family in this world. I've seen far too many times where, either a father is absent in the family and the family falls apart, or kids, you might have a wayward kid who strays and doesn't do what is right in the
Yeah.
sight of the Lord, and so I want a family dynamic that is on the path of righteousness, leading them to holiness, and it's my job as the father and as the husband to lead them in that way. And I
Yeah.
think if we're one family that is on that path, then I'm hoping that we can encourage other families to do that same thing.
Yeah. And surely around the church that you go to or
Mm,
the other places in the world to which we have friendships, you're going to find families that align with that.
yes,
That's the goal anyways, right?
right.
Yeah. That's good,
That's good.
man.
That is good.
You have anything else to add to the conversation today?
I do not. I think we pretty much hit it. I told you, shot you a text a few days ago about this topic of
Yeah.
what the purpose, um, how does CrossFit give us a greater sense of purpose? And I just wanted to talk on that, and I think we hit it.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, honestly could talk a lot more. One thought that I've had after the conversation last week is, are we making these too short,
Mhm.
or are they? I don't think they're too long. I think 30 minutes is a good time, but I guess if you're listening to this, put it in the comments, or yeah, put it in the comments if you would be open or if you would prefer a longer form of talking, of interviewing, or if you like the 30-minute time slot. Just let us know. If you would just follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, on X. I just got that up today, and on what else are we? Is that it? YouTube, Instagram,
That's
X.
it. That's it right now.
Yeah.
I've got some ideas for Facebook. I need to run
There we go.
by you real fast, but
Yeah, well, and we're constantly looking at growing. I mean, getting more information out there, and potentially, I think, creating a community of our Forging Elite Fathers crew, whatever that looks like. We don't know yet.
right.
We're flying by
Yeah.
the seat of our pants here. And we're going to try to just see what happens, throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. But I think for creating avenues to which fathers can unite, I'm sure locally in Northeast Arkansas will be where we start and see where it goes from there. But there was something else that I had. Oh, we are, follow us on those. And I guess also, what is Instagram's X alternative? What is that? What's it called?
Threads.
Threads. That's it.
No, thank you. Don't do that.
Good job.
I'm gonna put my foot down on that one, and don't
You
mess
are?
with that.
Don't mess with it. Well, I think
No.
stuff automatically goes over to it. So I guess
Yeah,
if you're on there,
if you're on there, you
follow
can follow. But I won't.
I would really like to start pushing my presence personally. Maybe this as well, the CrossFit Ridge City page, all that on X more. Just the fact of how
it
how
has,
free it is.
yeah, free, and it's growing. I think so.
Yeah,
the presence there is growing.
Not to promise anything, but we'll try to be on there more. And then next week we have another fun guest. Like, we are 2 for 2 on solid guests with some experience and some followers in the social media world. And I'm pumped about it.
Yep.
And I think you will all will enjoy our conversation next week. He's an Arkansan. And he's
Arkansan.
And a fit dad. Fit Christian dad. Yeah. So be looking for that. We will be doing that Wednesday. We will have it up. The goal is Wednesday afternoon next week. So that's all I have. Rob, if you have anything else.
That's it, man.
All right. Peace, love, and we'll catch you next week.
See you.